Hello everyone, today we are looking at some terrifying incidents that have been caught on doorbell cameras. It's a lot of our worst nightmares to wake up to see something so sinister so close to home. This makes videos such as these a humbling reminder that we are all susceptible to the darkest parts of humanity. So without further ado, let us begin. Starting off, we have footage from San Antonio, Texas, of a man who can be seen trying to force his way into someone's home while on the phone with them. The backstory to this being that the man was on a date with the woman whose home he's trying to force his way into. The woman supposedly found some disturbing photos on the man's iPad of women and also how to cut up a human body. The woman also discovered that he suffers from split personality disorder. In this footage, he has come to her apartment to harm her and her child. We can see in this footage the man is acting erratically and is on the phone to the woman demanding that she open the door or he will rip the door handle off. As the video progresses, we can see the man become more and more frustrated and unstable as he realises he isn't going to be let in. We can see that his attempts to enter the home become more and more aggressive. It's extremely unsettling that despite the woman's lack of interest in letting him enter her home, he persists and continues to attempt to enter her premises. I can't imagine the kind of fear that was going through the woman for the safety of her child and herself.
Are you going to open the door?
He eventually achieves his goal of pulling off the door handle. Then he likely knows that he is not going to be able to force his way into the home, so he wanders off into the night. The woman did the right thing and remained inside her home and waited for help to arrive. But despite that, it's terrifying that someone would go to these lengths to enter someone's home, especially after they've been found with such disturbing material on their devices. This video shows why it's important to pay attention to the possible red flags when dating someone, because this video is a very real reminder that this sort of thing happens very often and on a regular basis, and this doorbell footage is just a small window for we internet browsers to view the darkest sides of society. Next up, we have footage from London, England, which shows two men walking past a house when they are approached by two men on bikes. As the three men approach, the leader of the group calls out to one of the men, asking whether he has ammo.
Ammo? Huh? Ammo? Yeah. Okay. Ammo, yeah.
When the man confirms that that's his name, one of the three men pulls out a pistol and attempts to shoot him.
What?
He fires 2 shots at the man, but despite them being very close, he luckily misses. The men run away, seemingly to escape into the night. This footage is a shocking view into the gang violence of London. This was seemingly a hit on this ammo, because despite his friend being in the firing line, the attackers don't seem to move towards him once. I can imagine that this is something that the homeowners were terrified to wake up to. This video is also a reminder to stay alert in areas associated with high gang violence, and especially to not go through there at night. The next entrance is something of nightmare fuel. A man is seen extremely intoxicated and is likely on some kind of heavier substances. He is seen trying to break into the doorbell owner's home. He begins to crash into the door multiple times. After crashing into the door and hitting his head, that mixed with the massive amounts of substances in his system, the man stumbles back. At this point we can see how truly dishevelled the man looks. His clothes are wet and dirty, and he seems to have injuries all over his body. He slumps back over the banister of the porch and just lays there, arched over, moaning. The man appears to be in extreme distress. This Ring doorbell footage is an extremely terrifying look into the darkest depths of addiction. It is unknown whether the man was there to steal from the homeowner or was there for more malicious reasons. but the fact that the man seemingly didn't care how much noise he was making is not a good sign. Instances like this are a stark reminder of why it's important to lock your doors at night, because you never know who might try to enter your home. While we are on the topic of why it's important to keep your doors locked at night, in this footage from October 2nd, 2022, we can see 3 armed men who are wearing masks from the Purge movies. The men notice the doorbell camera straight away. One of the men puts his hand over the camera, preventing us from seeing what's going on. What makes this more terrifying is that before the intruders cover the camera, we can see that one of them is holding an AR. Later in the footage, the intruder takes his hand away from the camera, giving us a better look at the 3 men. All we can see is that they are wearing masks and are armed. They seem to be debating whether or not to gain access to the home. After a while, they give up and move on. To approach a home with that much firepower is utterly horrifying. They likely had bad intentions for any occupants that might be in the home. This would explain why they spent time discussing between each other, eventually deciding that it would be too difficult to gain access without drawing attention. The homeowner found this footage the next morning, meaning that if the men were to have attempted to break in, the house occupants would have been none the wiser. This shows us that despite setting up security precautions, you can still be taken off guard. I thought I would be generous to you, so I've added in one more clip. This clip shows a man approaching someone's porch and sniffing his wife's work shoe. Just sniffing a shoe. Just picking it up and taking a big old sniff. You see that? The infamous shoe sniffer. This man is now synonymous with shoe sniffing on the internet. Well, he is definitely the most terrifying, because what kind of psychopath sniffs a shoe that's outside? Who knows? And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. 4 of the most terrifying Ring doorbell videos. Well, 5 if you count the shoe sniffer. If you enjoy horror videos such as this one, please consider subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell to stay up to date with the latest content on the channel. And have a wonderful day, and stay safe out there in this creepy, creepy world.
Are you gonna open the door? Alright. Oh!